Welcome to Econosite. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating story. It's not just about a bunch of impressive numbers. It's about a potential blueprint for one of the world's fastest-growing economies. So the big question is, how is one single state in India completely rewriting the rules of economic growth? Let's get into it.
So it all starts with this one number, 9.69%. I know. It might just look like another statistic on a page, but trust me, this number, this is the key. It unlocks one of the most important economic stories happening in India right now.
Yeah, and this isn't just good. It's exceptional. What we're talking about here is the highest economic growth rate of any state in India for the 2024-25 fiscal year. And for Tamil Nadu itself, it's a 10-year high. It really makes you wonder, right? What is their secret?
All right, so to really answer that, we've got to put this headline-grabbing number into the proper context. Is Tamil Nadu actually becoming India's new economic leader?
Okay, first things first, a quick but really important explainer so we're all on the same page. You'll often hear economists throw around two terms, real and nominal growth. Real growth, and this is the one we're really focusing on, is adjusted for inflation. It tells you what's actually being produced. Nominal growth, on the other hand, includes inflation, so it can sometimes make the number look a little bigger than it really is.
And here's the kicker, you guys. Tamil Nadu is crushing it on both fronts. We're talking a real growth of 9.69% and a nominal growth of a, frankly, staggering 14.02%. And get this, both of those figures are the highest among all the states where we have data. This isn't some statistical fluke. This is the real deal. It's the sign of an economy that is genuinely booming.
So we know what's happening. The big question is how? How are they pulling this off? Well, let's pop the hood on Tamil Nadu's economy and see which parts are really firing on all cylinders.
All right, if you look at the state's GSDP, that's gross state domestic product, basically the state-level version of GDP, you see a picture of a really modern, diverse economy. The services sector, that's the tertiary sector, makes up the lion's share at 53%. Then you've got a really strong industrial or secondary sector at 37%. Agriculture, the primary sector, rounds it out at 10%. You know, this is pretty much the classic signature of a developed or at least a rapidly developing economy.
But wait, this is where the story gets really interesting. Take a look at the growth within each of those sectors. Services are just exploding, growing at 12.7%. Industry is right on its heels with a super strong 9% growth. But then you look at agriculture, and it's practically at a standstill.
And if you dig just a little bit deeper into that, the crop segment, the core of the agricultural sector, actually shrank by almost 6%. Now, you might think that's a bad thing, a sign of weakness, but it's not. It's actually a clue. It points to a very deliberate, a highly targeted strategy. See, Tamil Nadu isn't just waiting for a rising tide to lift all boats. They're actively building dams and directing the current.
So, while the services sector might be the main engine roaring ahead, the real secret weapon in Tamil Nadu's arsenal is its laser-focused manufacturing strategy. This, right here, is what truly sets it apart from the pack.
And you don't have to take my word for it. T.R.B. Raja, who is the state's industries minister, he put it perfectly. He said, "We are building a $100 billion electronics manufacturing ecosystem, and every factory we launch is a step closer to that dream." I mean, that's not just hope. That's a plan. That is vision in action.
So the big question is, how do you actually turn a massive vision like that into reality? Well, you do it by making deals. Real, tangible deals. A perfect case in point is the recent agreement they signed with Dixon Technologies.
Now this is where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about a 1,000 crore rupee investment. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 120 million US dollars, all for a new laptop manufacturing plant. And what does that do? It's set to create around 5,000 jobs and gives a huge boost to the local electronics manufacturing scene. This is how you make a strategy real.
Okay, so this strategy is clearly working wonders for Tamil Nadu. But you gotta ask, how does this compare to the rest of India? Let's zoom out for a minute and get the bigger picture.
Honestly, the numbers just speak for themselves. At 9.69%, Tamil Nadu isn't just beating the all-India average of 6.5%, it's absolutely blowing past it. It's in a completely different league. And this isn't some one-off thing, some recent blip on the radar. It's a pattern of consistent, incredibly resilient growth, especially since the pandemic.
And it gets even clearer when you compare it to its neighbors in the south. Take a look. You see other states that lean really heavily on either services, like Karnataka, or agriculture. But Tamil Nadu? It's carved out this unique path, building its success on a powerful, deliberately cultivated manufacturing base. It's a totally different approach.
Okay, so we've looked at the mind-blowing numbers, we've broken down the strategy, and we've seen how it compares. But what's the so what here? What does this all mean for the bigger picture, and what's the key takeaway we should all be thinking about?
I think the key takeaway is pretty clear. Tamil Nadu's success is absolutely no accident. It's what I'd call a dual-engine powerhouse. You've got this booming services sector providing the raw thrust, right? But then you have this incredibly strategic, deliberate push in manufacturing that's building a solid, job-creating industrial foundation. And that combination is just so potent, and it's delivering these incredible results.
And all of this leaves us with one final, and I think pretty provocative question. You know, with India's huge national ambition, the Make in India initiative, could this model from Tamil Nadu, this careful balancing act between services and manufacturing, be the actual blueprint the entire country needs to succeed? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining us here at Econosite.